Mic. It should be on now. Okay, perfect. So we are on now. This is working out beautifully. Okay, here we go. So, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. I know I haven't streamed in a couple days. I'm kind of in the process of moving right now, back to Orlando for for not vacation, for school and whatnot. So I'm kind of going through this process right now. So I'm not exactly moved in yet, but I am kind of going to be looking at these primary results with everybody here really quick. I didn't know these were happening today, and it is Tuesday, so I should be expecting these from now on. I'm actually really surprised that the internet is working here because I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere right now, so I'm actually a bit surprised that the internet is actually working this well here. Um, so I guess shout out Elon Musk because apparently his internet. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Now it should be working. I saw that I'm like looking at my phone. The whole chat's like freaking out that my audio wasn't working. It should be working now. I don't know why. Because I'm like looking at the light of my microphone and it said it was on. Okay, so what I was saying was clearly here we kind of have a we're about 37% of the electorate. Guys, let me know in the chat if you can hear me. It should be working now. Okay, I guess they can hear me now. All right, perfect. um again, no sound still. It should be on. Okay, yes, it is on. If the stream is a little laggy, it's because I'm not exactly in like the place with the best internet. So the fact that the stream's even running is still pretty impressive. So I kind of do have the results pulled up for the Wisconsin Senate primary, and this is a guy that I have him losing right now in my latest forecast by about 3 points or so. But the fact that he is getting a primary where he's getting about, over 80% of the vote in a primary like this is pretty impressive. He's basically going out there and getting the nomination, very easily. I mean, he's basically winning every county by, over like basically 75 points, essentially, almost a lot of these counties. I mean, he's doing very well in some of the WoW counties. In Ozaki, he's doing somewhat well. He's getting about 91%. In Milwaukee, he's getting about 24,000 raw votes. In Waukesha, he's getting about 52K. He's getting about, in Racine, he's getting about, 1.2K. In Kenosha, he's getting about 6.8. So it's pretty interesting how these results are kind of going on. And, if we kind of go over here, we can actually technically go back to the 2016 Wisconsin Republican primary. I want to pull this up because I want to actually compare results just a tiny bit to see, where certain candidates kind of would have performed better. Bernie Sanders completely decimated Hillary in Wisconsin, which is kind of interesting. But if we look here, we'll see in a place like Milwaukee, Ted Cruz did very well in the Wow County area. I mean, he did pretty good here, and then Donald Trump did relatively well in the rest of the state. And Cruz actually got like over 500,000 votes in the primary, which is pretty impressive. So that is quite interesting. And he mainly won this race due to the population areas kind of breaking for him. That's like really the main reason why he kind of won the primary. So Trump wasn't that off from winning it, to be honest. And Cruz actually put up a fight in some of the rural counties here now that I'm looking at this. But looking at the results now, I mean, he is killing it everywhere statewide. He's doing extremely well. We see here. in the chat. Yes, I can hear you. I think Royce White is about to win. Go back, go out and back if you can't hear. Yeah, Eric Hovde will lose our two Senate or lose our two senators or icons to stay. All my Latino friends, all my black friends and coworkers in Iowa coming out for Trump. Okay. Once the debate happens, she will drop like a rock after the embarrassment. She will take losing at the debate. Well, there's three debates, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I don't. I'm not too certain about that. Connecticut, the primary is still underway here, and it seems that Matthew Corey has won the primary for the Senate seat, and it was a contested primary. So the chances of that flipping are going to be very, very slim. And there's an incumbent Democrat there in Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar. They're about 6% reporting, but she's getting about 96% of the primary vote right now. So, I mean, really not that contested. I'm curious to see what's going to happen in a place like Hennepin and Ramsey because if she's actually underperforming there due to a possible like Israel Hamas kind of thing, that might actually be pretty interesting. And the Republicans right now, believe it or not, in terms of like raw turnout right now, they're actually tied. Republicans and Democrats are actually tied. So that's pretty interesting that they're actually kind of tied in turnout right now. Um, it's pretty fascinating that they're actually tied, almost tied statewide in terms of turnout. So that is really interesting. So we do see that there. And then in Vermont, we do have the governorship race. Uh, Esther Charleston is winning the primary pretty easily. I mean, the primary is basically already done counting on. Phil Scott is the incumbent who's uncontested, so I expect him to win that race by about 10 points. That's what I have in my model right now. And yes, the debate is not that far. I mean, September, well, technically the 4th is the first one, but you know, lieutenant governor, the Republican. I mean, John Rogers ended up winning that primary, so that's pretty interesting to take into consideration. David Zuckerman, which is the incumbent lieutenant governor, won fairly easily there, so that's also really interesting as well. And we look at Wisconsin, Eric Hovde, he is at 87% of the primary vote, which is still good because that's an uncontested primary, and having the party unified behind you is really going to help you out in a state like that. I think his chances of winning because of this are actually going to go up pretty high now. We see prohibit legislature from delegating appropriations. What? I don't know what that would mean. Require legislature approval for federal funds. Oh, that is really not good. Damn, six. Damn, that is crazy actually. We see special races. Wisconsin's 8th congressional district special primary election. So Republicans are having their primary, and Roger Roth is at about 40% counting in this district, and he's really getting a lot of his votes out of this county right here, and they're only about 21% in reporting. So that's also pretty fascinating as well to see there. So, I mean, I'm not going to be on here for too long. I just want to come on here really quick to kind of check in with you guys and whatnot. Tomorrow, we're actually going to have like a legit stream and whatnot, and I'll kind of have this set up a little bit nicer and stuff. But we do have Eric Hovde. Almost half the votes are counted in Wisconsin, and he's gotten a pretty high vote share. I thought that this primary, I wasn't aware how uncontested this primary was, to be honest. I really wasn't aware. So that is fairly interesting. I'm actually going to even look at the Senate because I want to actually go ahead and see what the last time what happened. I guess 2018 Republican primary, um, Wisconsin Senate. So this is what we're going to look at. So this is what I want to see because Wisconsin U.S. Senate results. No, I do not want to go there. 2018. No. Okay. See, this is interesting. Where is that primary result? 2018 Wisconsin Republican primary. Okay, here we go. Brian Walters for 2. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sammy Rothwark. I appreciate it. Okay, here it is. So this is not 2018, is it? I think it is because this is okay. All right. Oh, okay, here we go. So we have it here. So here's the interesting part. So Tammy Baldwin again uncontested, but we see right now that actually with 42% of the vote in, he's actually getting more votes than Leah Volkemer. He's already outdoing her vote totals, which is pretty nuts. And this was the last time that the seat was up. I may actually even pull up the 2012 results of Wisconsin Republican primary. I may actually even pull this up just so um it's a little bit of a more fairer comparison, but pretty sure that let's see. Because yeah, we clearly yeah, Romney dominated in this primary. He won by a couple points there. I'm just kind of curious to see 2012 Wisconsin election, 2012. Yeah, no. You see, this is not what I wanted to look for. I wanted to look for the Republican primary, Senate. Guess they do not have the results for that. It's kind of annoying. Um trying to look here and see where they have it because I actually want to have like a fair comparison, but he's already outdoing her. But again, this is a presidential year, so there's going to be more turnout during the presidential year. But this other candidate did get a lot of votes in like rural Wisconsin. You clearly see that that candidate did good in the rest of the state. This candidate Leah kind of did better in the right part of the state. Really, like she didn't even win that many counties, and she still won the race because she got the turnout in Milwaukee, in in certain places here. She was able to kind of get the turnout Milwaukee. In a couple places, she was actually able to get the right turnout just enough. Milwaukee's what really carried her to victory in the state, to be honest with you. That basically makes up her entire margin, essentially, in terms of the victory. Plus, maybe a little bit of an overperformance in some of these rural counties, more than likely. So that's kind of what we're seeing there in terms of the 2018 races. So this is interesting, but I want to find the 2012 primary because that's going to be a little bit more of a fairer comparison. Except the problem is they don't have the damn results. I don't know why they don't have that. That's kind of annoying. Um, I don't know why they. Oh, what? Would contemplate a coal run. Ryan later stated that he was 95% sure. He later chose 6 months to clear. The contest turned out to be a four-way fight, although a large consisted of preference of nominee more conservative than Tommy. Split the conservative vote allowing. Okay, but where is the results though? Like that's what I'm trying to find. I don't understand. Where I don't understand. Was this like a backroom deal or something? I don't know. Let's go ahead and find 2006 Wisconsin Senate election. Um, and what we can do actually is look for the Republican primary in the state because hmm, again, where are the primary results? Like, I don't understand. Where are the primary results? This is kind of annoying that they don't have them. I hate the fact that they don't have the results for the primaries. It's kind of pissing me off a little bit because comparing 2018 to now, it's not really the fairest thing. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's still already outdoing the previous nominee. He's already outdoing her by a few, thousand couple votes, and only 44% of the state is in. And so if that's the case, if about 44, because we could do the math for this, if about 44% of the votes are counted, and we got to find that, and there's about, we see here, because in total, they had about 443,000 votes. So if this is about 45% of the electorate, and we are looking at a potential this many votes. in the primary right now at 45%, that means that Republicans would have turned out 626,000 voters. So that is basically it. So they're going to turn out about 200,000 more voters than the previous cycle, which is good because if you actually look at the results for that Senate race, if we were to go back to 2018 and actually look at that race, the race was effectively decided by about 300,000 votes. So him being competitive in the race, especially with Trump at the top of the ticket, is not that unrealistic. He has a good shot of winning. I mean, a lot of people have been calling me crazy for saying that it's even possible that he could win, but it's not really impossible because he's gonna get the party itself is turning out about 200,000 more voters, and he's basically gonna get all of that at this point. I mean, they may keep gaining a bit, but he's gonna really go out there and gain the party apparatus at this point. He's really going to go out there and gain it for sure. So I really can't see him losing, at least, well, obviously not the primary, but I can't see him losing by 11 points. Like, I just can't see it happen. There's no way that he's going to lose the race by over 5 points, even in my opinion. See, like 620. That's like about where it's gonna be. It's gonna be like past the 620s, which is pretty impressive. So they're gonna turn out about 200,000 more voters as a party, as a whole. They're gonna turn out about 200,000 more voters, and that's already gonna close the gap from this. And I don't know if she's as popular as she was back in 2018 or even in 2012. I mean, her vote share keeps going down more and more. I mean, in 2012 during a presidential year, she got 1.5 million, and in 2018, she ended up getting, if we look here, she ended up getting 1.4 million. But with the presidential turnout, she may possibly be able to potentially do better um with turnout this time. But if Hovde is, running it up pretty well, for the most part. I mean, if he's running it up well and getting the party apparatus of about 600,000 voters from the primary, and then going out there with Trump at the top of the ticket, which Tammy Baldwin hasn't had to have dealt with yet. She hasn't had to deal with a candidate like that at the top of the ticket. In Wisconsin, Johnson was able to kind of coast by because he got about 1.4 million votes, and the Democrat got a little bit less and didn't perform as well on the west side of the state. And that largely in part was because of Donald Trump being on the ballot. I mean, here in 2010 in a red wave year where Ron Johnson won by, we'll actually go and look at the margin here. I mean, he won by 4.8%. And that was more of a red wave year, but he got 1.4 million. So even though he won by a lesser of a margin the next time, he actually ended up getting about 1.4 million votes. So that's only going to help him even more in the presidential turnout. So I believe the race is going to be within 5 points. I don't think she's going to beat him by over 6 points. I really doubt it. Now, does he win right now? The likeliness of that is very slim. It's definitely possible, but we'll see. Even here, like, I mean, he dropped about 1 million votes here against Mendel Barnes. So that's pretty interesting, too. Mendel Barnes actually did slightly worse than the 2016 nominee, which is pretty interesting, which is not a good sign for people in Wisconsin. That's not a good sign because the fact that Barnes did only 70,000 votes worse than a year with presidential turnout, that's not a good sign for Republicans in Wisconsin because that means that the Senate candidate may get more than this. They may end up getting about 1.5 million, depends on how Trump does. So I could see Hovde getting about 1.4, 1.3 around there, and maybe Baldwin gets 1.4, 1.5. So essentially, the race effectively at the most really is going to come down to this. essentially the race is gonna be within, if we just look at the math, the race is gonna be within 7 points. And that's if she gets 1.5 million votes, which I don't know if she's gonna get that. I don't know. We'll see how things turn out, but she may or may not get it. It's possible she does. Now Trump is probably gonna end up. I mean, and this is when you had presidential turnout, and that's when Mitt Romney in the state. We can actually look up and see what he got here in 2012, just to kind of cross compare the turnout in the state. Barack Obama this same year got a million more votes in the state than the Senate candidate. Or actually, no, not even. He did slightly better than the Senate candidate. And Tammy Baldwin actually underperformed Barack Obama by quite a bit in the state. So that's interesting. And so she actually underperformed Barack Obama at the presidential level. Okay, so I see in the chat that we do have Minnesota's fifth. So I am going to go here really quick to check that out because we how? Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Wait, what? Oh, that is oh, that is not good. Oh, that is oh wow. Oh wow. That is crazy. It's within 3 points. Who is John Samuels? Who is this? Let's see who their let's see who her possible replacement could. Hmm. How liberal is this guy? Huh. Interesting. Wow. So damn, he's behind by like 3 points. He's like actually in the fight for this. He's like legitimately in the fight. He's literally losing by 3.2% right now. That's like not even that bad. And they just started counting results out of here. And this is like in the middle of Hennepin, basically. It's like in the middle. That is crazy. Wow. That is actually insane. That is actually insane. Wow. What? We'll come back to this, but wow. That is crazy. Okay, so 50% of the votes are in. Wow, yeah, so it's about 620,000 votes are going to be in for the Republicans for the primary. So they're doing about 200,000 votes better than what they did last time. So that already kind of gives, from the previous candidate, that gives Hovde an extra 200,000 votes. And we've seen that Romney outperformed the Senate candidate by roughly 30,000 votes. And if we look at Donald Trump's margin, or at least raw turnout in the state of Wisconsin in 2020, he ended up getting 1.6 million. So it is totally possible that Hovde wins the race. Now, looking at 2016, let's see what ended up happening here with this race, because he got about 200,000 votes less. But I want to compare the Senate race turnout because I want to see how people end up performing. Johnson actually outperformed him by quite a bit. Johnson actually got more votes here than he did here. Now, it's a slightly different seat, but I mean, Johnson did outperform him in the Senate race. So I'm kind of wondering, like, is Hovde actually gonna win? I think it's possible he does. I think it's genuinely possible that he ends up happening. Let me see. Open primary. Oh, wow. It's an open. Oh, no wonder. I was like, damn, that is not good. Okay, so Amy Klobuchar, yeah, she's the favorite, but what is this? Ole Savior. He's beating her in a county right now by like 5 votes, I guess. Nothing from Ramsey or Hennepin are in. I kind of want to see that. Um, Nothing from those counties are there. And Royce White is now leading the primary. I've been under the impression that it was going to be Joe Fraser the entire time, but it looks like that candidate's going to be up, and we're going to be comparing turnout. But Democrats are not up by that much here. And if we go to 2018, just to compare, Minnesota 2018 Senate um primaries. I want to compare the difference. Okay, Governor Tim Walz. All right, that's fine. That's not really. Was he the incumbent? No, he must have not been the incumbent. There's no way. Oh yeah, no, he wasn't the incumbent. Um. Okay, so that's not good for the Democrats at all. That is not good. So about 16% of the vote is in, and 64,000 votes have been casted, but they got 500,000 here? That is not that is not good at all. That is really bad. Those are horrible numbers. Those are horrible numbers. Those are bad. That is, what would that end up being? Hold on. Let me look that up. What would that end up, what is their full turnout gonna roughly end up being? So you do the same thing. It's about 16% one, and then you do the total vote share on the top, and then you do the X. So 400,000. So Democrats in Minnesota are going to turn out less voters in the Democrat primary for an incumbent senator than they did in a midterm election. And you mean to tell me that she's guaranteed to win by 20 points? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I doubt it. And then here it says that they're 21% of the way in here, and they're roughly tied. So what does this mean? That means that essentially Republicans are going to turn out about 300,000 voters in the primary, which is they're going to turn out basically just as much as they did in 2018, but Democrats are just not showing up in the primary as much as they did in 2018. Literally like 150,000 people or 180,000 are basically going to sit out the primary for the incumbent senator during a presidential year. That is not good for Amy. That is not good for Amy at all. I mean, she's probably not going to lose the race, but if that's the case, she's probably going to end up or she's probably going to end up winning the race by like probably like 9 or 10 points, which for her is not great because she typically wins that race by a lot. You see, Klobuchar, she won by 35 in 2012, and then in 2018, she won by 24. So if she's getting about 200,000 less voters in the state, that's really going to affect her margin quite a bit. That's really going to mess up her margin there. That is not good. That cuts our margin down quite a bit because she'll be at like 1.3. Now, with Obama, it seems like she did overperform with Obama on the ticket, and I believe she may have outperformed him statewide. We could check that out really quick. We can just like merely pull it up. It's not going to be that hard. She did actually outperform him statewide, so she's probably going to get more votes, but that's a little iffy. I mean, she probably ends up winning the race. Right now, I think I have her winning by 14 points. So the primary data is kind of even backing that up, to be honest. Okay, we still don't have more votes out of the 5th district. I kind of want to see what happens there because I actually really want Elon Omar gone. I want her gone. And it's kind of funny that I didn't even know that that was an open primary. I had no clue. I mean, now we're at least taking advantage of it, so that's good. We're taking advantage of it being an open primary. Representative Elon Omar of Minnesota, member of the Progressive Squad, faces multiple primary challenges, including Don Sanders, a prominent Minneapolis Democrat who sought a rematch after Miss Omar narrowly defeated him in 2022. Oh, that's not good. And the last one was close, and she's gotten less popular. Oh yeah. Oh no, oh no, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna win that race. We'll see, because we're only 5% in, which means about how many people roughly turning out for this? Let's see. How many people would roughly be turning out for this? Because if turnout's high, then she probably ends up winning. But if it's not, then that's not a good sign. So this is about 5% of the electorate, so about 100,000 voters. Now, what was the result in 2022? 2022, Minnesota fifth primary election. Let's see, what happened here. No, not here. No. Where is it? New York Times. Hmm. So it's about the same, and she only won by 2 points. She didn't win by that much. Uh, that is not good for her. That is not good. That is really not good for her. Turnout is about the same. It's actually coming out to be slightly more than what it was before. So it's possible that she holds on, but she didn't even do that great in 2022. So I kind of have a feeling she may possibly go down. We'll see what happens, but I think she may go down. We'll see. Um, Okay, so Royce White is still up in the Republican primary here, and there are about 70,000. 24% of the vote is in. Really? 24% is in, and they're at that much? That is not good. Um, Clearly Democrats are going to have the advantage in Hennepin and Ramsey County. I mean, that's just a common knowledge at this point when it comes to presidential and even statewide politics in Minnesota. They're going to always have the population advantage there. So that doesn't really surprise me. But the fact that they're still tied right now is somewhat impressive. And Elon Omar is expected to face a rematch. I mean, it's interesting because the more squad people go down, the more of them go down, the more, I'm going to feel more confident because really, to be honest with you, I'm going to just be honest. Kamala Harris is literally a squad presidential nominee. I mean, that's really what she is. She's literally a presidential nominee for the Progressive Squad. That's literally it. She's literally, if the Progressive Squad had a nominee and they couldn't pick Bernie Sanders, literally it's Kamala Harris. Like she is the first like squad nominee to be the candidate for president for the Democrats essentially. And she didn't even get there rightly elected. She was a coup. So we'll see if a lot of these people keep going down, that's gonna be pretty interesting because I don't know, man. That's gonna be interesting. Really, really interesting. I'm definitely going to be tuning in the results for that. But all right, guys, I think I am going to end this stream for now. I am going to be streaming tomorrow for everybody that's in here. I am streaming tomorrow. I'm doing a fundraiser for the GoFundMe for the national and state polls that I'm doing with SoCal Strategies. We do want to poll nationally and statewide. We want to do multiple swing state polls and we want to do national polls right before the election, and he's really upping the methodology. Donald Trump noticed one of his polls now, so she's really, really trying to he's really trying to really up the methodology of the polling, and we're getting that all sorted out this week. We're going to be in the field in Pennsylvania the next week. Ready Go Politics is going to help me with sponsoring the poll, and when Pennsylvania's poll is done, we're gonna hop on a video. SoCal Strategy is gonna break down the methodology of his poll and the results, and the crosstabs and things like that. And me and Red Eagle are kind of gonna look at the results and demographically kind of assess what that means for the state as a whole. So it'll be like a nice video of us kind of reviewing the poll and the results and looking at all that. So if you guys really want to see content like that and really want to get the most accurate, most transparent polling that you'll get in the industry, because everybody's faking their numbers, everybody's fudging the numbers here and there. So guys, if you guys want honest analysis of elections and pure data, make sure to go ahead and donate whatever you possibly can. But I am going to be doing a fundraiser stream tomorrow. Like literally tomorrow is just going to be fundraising. I'm going to be talking about the actual election itself, but the whole point of the stream is really going to be able to fundraise. So guys, tune in tomorrow. I want to see people there. Guys, make sure to tune in, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I am going to be uploading videos as well. So